Hey Christmas Light community. So today I wanted to go over, I had a question come in and the question was, should I tape my females or where they plug in together, should I use electrical tape to tape these up? And I'm going to give you my answer here in a second. So, and this also goes for our SPT. I'm going to give you why we don't want to tape up these also. So here it is. So please go down and subscribe to my channel. I'm like this close to getting to 1,000 by Christmas, and I'd really appreciate it if you could help me out and subscribe. But before that, we have our female here. And the way we teach our people to do this is we want to put this kind of down into the bush and not to tape it. And here's why. Whenever we tape it, we're going to put a piece of tape on here. What happens to it is these are not, so if we tape this right here, and we take this piece of tape and we tape the end here, so that we think that water can't get down in there. First off, this is not waterproof tape. Water can still get into the crevices here. Also, on the back here, this is not waterproof. Water, and then the other thing is, by us doing this, once water gets into this connection, it can't get out, it can't escape. If we leave this here open, and we put this down in there, even if we put it in here like this, the water's gonna come out the backside. But if it gets in here like this, and we put this piece of tape on it, now the water can't escape out. And it won't dry out either. Because now we have all this moisture in there, and guess what it's gonna do? It's gonna pop it's either gonna hit our circuit here, it's gonna shut the whole thing down. The GFI is gonna sense that it's gotten too much pool, and it's gonna shut the whole system down. So this is why we do not tape our females. What we try to do is like if we're in a bush, like a big long hedge bush or something, we shove this down the center of it. That way the water can go, if the water does get in it, it goes right back out through these holes here. And that way the water, if we put a dam over it here, and we put a piece of tape over it, and we do that same thing, water's gonna get in it, water's gonna fill this up, and it's gonna shut our light off. So that is why we do not tape. And people are like, well, you're gonna keep water out. You're not gonna keep water out. There's nothing waterproof on this stuff. Even our lights here, you know, they don't have tape around these lights. It's because it's not waterproof. Water's gonna come in and go out. It's just part of it. And then they're like, well, what if we tape them this way here? Well, I wanna show you, it's not waterproof. You don't see no seals in there. All it is just, this is the little fuse holder right here. It's, you know, water's gonna get up in there. If I'm moving it, water's gonna get up in there. It don't matter how much tape I put over this. I mean, I seen one the other day and it was just taped 100%, but guess what? Water's still gonna get down through that tape. It's guaranteed it's gonna get in there. And, you know, you can see right here around the edge, it's not waterproof. I can pop this cap off and it's not waterproof. So the goal is if it's not waterproof, get the water out of there. And that's why we don't tape our ends. So the next thing is, all right, so SPT2. You can use SPT1 or SPT2. It doesn't really matter. I'll do another video of the difference of SPT1 and SPT2. But so what we have here is the cap. I actually pulled it back a little bit on purpose. So we've been in this for 4 or 5 years. And we got a lot of extension cord. And sometimes all our cord don't go back to the same house. You know, sometimes last year we had a tank down crew that kind of really put some ringers in on us, and they put all the extension cord in one roundup, whatever. And so some of it went with the reel, but a lot of it didn't. So we have a lot of females in the line where people, you know, for this house we did bushes and that kind of stuff. And what happens is is sometimes the females will get left on there without no wire on it, without no plug in it. The problem with this is it will trip the breaker. And it'll trip the breaker whether it's got a plug in it or not. And this is how it trips it. And this is why we really want to try to get these up off the ground so we can get that water out of there. If these are on the ground, they get in the water puddle, it freezes here. And then what happens is, and how I noticed this is it was freezing. If I can get the cap off, I don't have my thing. And it was actually freezing across the back side of this. So like when you take the wire out, where the wire is, there was a nice little layer of ice there. Well, ice is a conductor, and ice will make it pop your circuit. It'll make you pop your GFI. So this is another reason why we want to keep these up off the ground. And and these are definitely not waterproof. Water will come in, and we want it to go back out. And so that's why, I like to kind of keep these up off the ground, up on the tree, up in the bush. If they're on the ground, take them off if they're not getting used. Because if these get wet and they hold water, it will trip your lights. Now, if you're in an area that you don't get a lot of rain, you're great. If you're up north and you get a lot of snow won't bother these as much as rain does. Rain will get in these. If it snows on top of it, snow's not getting into it. Where if it's raining, rain's gonna get into it. If you're in San Diego, you don't get rain at all. You don't have to worry about this crap. If you're in a wet weather, try to keep these up off the ground so that way it will keep them from getting wet and tripping your breaker. This here will trip a breaker. Water will get in there. If water can't get out of it, if it's on the ground in a puddle and water can't get out of it, it's gonna trip a breaker, guarantee it. It might not trip a breaker, it'll trip a GFI for sure. A breaker takes a little bit more to pop, where a GFI don't take as much to trip that GFCI. So I hope this helps you out. If you would like to learn how to make extension cords, check out this video here. And if you would like to learn how to do Christmas lights on roofs and stuff, check out this video here. Have a Merry Christmas. Please subscribe so I can get to 1,000 for Christmas. Thank you and have a great day.